The bard in Dungeons & Dragons is usually seen as the foppish minstrel that tries to seduce the dragon, or occasionally the virtuoso artist or silly prankster. But a bard can have a harder edge, the warrior poet that leads his people to victory against overwhelming odds. Stay with us to see how to play such a hero. Hi, everyone, and welcome to another powerful episode of
The Dungeon Crashers.
I'm Guy.
And I'm Zapeel. Before we get started, remember to like and subscribe, and turn on that bell so you don't miss any of our exciting D&D content. Today we are continuing to explore the guilds of Ravnica, and we are going to be visiting the Gruul Guild. Once the Gruul were a noble guild, tasked with preserving the wilderness, but other guilds soon overran all the wild areas, leaving only the parks and farms of the Selesnya. Nature was abandoned in favor for the mutant creatures created by the Simic. The Gruul fractured into clans that inhabited the broken areas of civilization, ruined slums, neighborhoods destroyed by fire and never rebuilt, the ruins left behind by rampaging worms. The Gruul raided the civilized areas for their needs, moving on before the Boros or Azorius came to imprison or enslave them. There are 7 clans that make up the Gruul. Our hero is going to be of the Scab clan. They are seen as the most vicious and violent of the clans, and while this is true, it isn't in their eyes justified, as all of their members have been tortured, maimed, or mutilated by the so-called civilized peoples. They bear their scars with pride and tear down civilization whenever they can. Life in the Scab clan is a day-to-day struggle for survival. Food and water are scarce and must be scavenged and often fought for. Each member must trust his companions absolutely, for without cooperation, they cannot survive. While seen as nothing but murderers by the other guilds, they have a deep sense of community. Among them are those who tell the tales of great battles and remind the clans of the injustices done to them. These skjalds are not mere tellers of tales, however, they are warriors that fight in the vanguard of the battles they sing about.
Each of the guilds has an associated background. These backgrounds have the same features as most D&D backgrounds, but also add spells to the spell lists of casters at different levels. We will discuss these as they become available. The Gruul Anarch background gives proficiency in the skills Animal Handling and Athletics, proficiency with an Herbalism kit, and proficiency in one language chosen from Giant, Draconic, Goblin, or Sylvan. Our hero is a Minotaur. Minotaurs in Ravnica can be found in any guild, but are primarily either soldiers in the Boros Legion or warriors of the Gruul. There is a version of the Minotaur in the Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, but it has received an update in Monsters of the Multiverse, and we're using that version. The Ravnica version will work for this character as well, but will alter the starting ability scores somewhat. Minotaurs are humanoid, their movement speed is 30 feet, their size is medium, and they stand over 6 feet tall. They have a head like a bull, complete with horns that range from 1 foot long to 3 times that length. Their horns give them several abilities. They can be used to make unarmed attacks that deal a d6 damage and use strength as the modifier for attack and damage, and deal piercing damage instead of the bludgeoning damage normal for unarmed strikes. They can also make a goring rush, allowing them to make a horn attack as a bonus action immediately after taking the attack action. They also get an ability called Hammering Horns. Immediately after hitting a creature with a melee attack that doesn't have to be with their horns, the Minotaur can attempt to shove the opponent as a bonus action. The target makes a strength save with a DC 8 plus the Minotaur's strength and proficiency modifiers. If it fails, the Minotaur can push it 10 feet away. Minotaurs are also excellent trackers and navigators. They get Labyrinthine Recall, which lets them always know which direction is north and gives advantage on wisdom checks to track or navigate. Minotaurs can choose one skill that can be either Insight or Intimidation, and we want Intimidation. Minotaurs speak Common and a language the DM thinks is appropriate, and we're taking Giant.
Minotaurs get the ability score bonuses found in Monsters of the Multiverse, which are 3+1 bonuses that can put on whatever ability you want, but no more than 2 on a single ability. We put a 14 on Strength, making it 16 with 2 of our bonuses. Charisma may be a bard's most important stat, but we are Gruul and we must be able to fight to earn respect. We also put a 14 on Dexterity. We are starting with light armor and eventually getting proficiency with medium, so a certain amount of dex is necessary. We put a 12 on Constitution. This is lower than we want and we will raise it eventually. But as a bard, we need a little bit of everything, so our ability scores are spread thin. We put a 10 on both intelligence and wisdom. We don't need a lot of either, but our role in the clan calls for us to be an advisor and a historian, so we can't afford to have a negative. And we put a 13 on charisma, making it 14 with our last bonus. This is our casting stat and affects a lot of our abilities. This is also another score we will need to get higher. As we mentioned in our last video, all of our Ravnica builds are going to be single-class characters. We talked about why in that video, and if you haven't seen it, we'll put a link up at the end of this video. This character is going to be a bard. At first level bard, we gain 3 skills from the bard list, and we want perception, survival, and persuasion. Perception and survival are essential to life among the Gruul, and persuasion might take a back seat to intimidation, but is a skill useful to our role as a leader and advisor. We also gain proficiency with light armor, simple weapons, hand crossbows, rapiers, long swords, and short swords. We will use studded leather and a longsword, which we can wield two-handed. Our saving throw proficiencies are dexterity and charisma. We also have proficiency with 3 musical instruments. Drums are probably a good character choice for one of them, and a horn could also be another good choice. Bards also get spellcasting, and we have 2 first-level spell slots and no 2 cantrips and 4 first-level spells from the Bard list. Our background adds the cantrips Firebolt and Produce Flame to the Bard list for us, as well as the spells Compelled Duel, Speak with Animals, and Thunderwave. Whether to take Firebolt or Produce Flame is a personal choice. Firebolt is better overall, but Produce Flame is cooler and can be used as a light source, which can be handy since we don't have dark vision. It seems strange that Minotaurs that are based on labyrinth-dwelling creatures lack dark vision, and as a DM I would give it to them, but if not, having a light source is necessary. For our other cantrip, Vicious Mockery is a bard's staple for a good reason, allowing us to do damage and hinder our enemy at the same time. For spells, we want Dissonant Whispers, Command, Healing Word, and Heroism. Heroism will help compensate for our relatively low hit points. We also gain Bardic Inspiration, which are D6s we can give to our allies, and they can use it within 10 minutes to add an ability check, attack roll, or saving throw. We have a number of these equal to our Charisma modifier.
At second level Bard, we gain Jack of all trades, allowing us to add half our proficiency modifier to any skill or ability check that doesn't already use our proficiency. Initiative is an ability check, so this will help us in a fight as well as in out-of-combat situations. We also get Song of Rest. When our allies spend a hit dice to regain hit points on a short rest, they gain an additional d6, and this dice increases as we gain levels. We get an additional first level spell slot and learn another spell, and we want Cure Wounds for healing outside of combat. However, if a cleric or another party member takes care of that, Thunderwave is a good area effect damage spell. At third level Bard, we gain our Bardic College, and we want College of Valor. We gain proficiency with medium armor and martial weapons, and shields. This is going to give us a nice boost to armor class without needing to increase our dexterity. As we don't want to take the Warcaster feat, we are going to not use a shield, and switch our longsword for a two-handed weapon such as a greatsword or maul. We also gain Combat Inspiration, letting us better inspire our clan in battle. When someone has one of our inspiration dice, they can use it to add to a weapon damage roll, or they can use it as a reaction when attacked to add the dice roll to their armor class. They can use this after they see the d20 roll, but before the DM says if it hits. We also gain expertise in 2 of our skills, and we want Intimidation and Persuasion to better wield authority among our clan and to terrorize our enemies and make them submit to our demands. We get a 4th first level spell slot and 2 second level spell slots. We learn another spell and it can be second level. Our background adds Shatter and Beast Sense to our Bard list, and we want to take Shatter for a strong ranged area of effect spell. At 4th level Bard, we gain an ability booster feat, and we need to get our Charisma up to 16 to help our spell attacks and save DCs. It will also make us more persuasive and intimidating. We gain another second level spell slot, and we also learn another spell, and we want Crown of Madness. If the target fails a wisdom save, it is charmed by you, and must use its action before it moves on its turn to attack a creature of your choice. If no creature is in range, or we don't choose a creature, it can act normally, although it is still charmed by you and can attack you, and you have advantage on checks to interact with it socially. The last part probably won't come up, but if for instance your DM allows you to use Intimidation to try and get them to surrender, or Persuasion to call for a truce, this could be useful. It can make a wisdom save at the end of each of its turns to end the effect. We learn another cantrip as well, and Message is a great cantrip to have in a lot of situations.
At 5th level, our inspiration dice improves to a d8, and we gain Font of Inspiration. We now recover all of our Bardic Inspiration dice on a short or long rest. We gain 2 3rd level spell slots and learn another spell that can be of 3rd level. Our background adds the spells Conjure Animal and Conjure Barrage to our spell list. Conjure Barrage is not a powerful damage spell for 3rd level, but bards don't normally get any, and it does have an excellent area of effect, and you can even customize the damage type by carrying a variety of thrown weapons. A hand axe will give you slashing, a dart will make it piercing, and a stone sling will make it bludgeoning. Our cantrips also improve at this level, adding another dice of damage. At 6th level of Bard, we gain Counter Charm, which lets us use an action to give friendly creatures advantage on saves against being charmed or frightened until the end of our next turn. More importantly, from College of Valor, we gain extra attack, allowing us to make 2 attacks instead of 1 when we take the attack action. We also gain another 3rd level spell slot and can learn another spell, and we want Mass Healing Word to better help support our clan in battle. At 7th level Bard, we gain 1 4th level spell slot and can learn another spell. Our background adds the spells Dominate Beast and Stone Skin to our Bard list. Stone Skin is a decent spell, but the material component makes it not worth the effort. If you commonly encounter beasts in your campaign, then Dominate Beast is an excellent spell, but it is often useless. What we want is Ralathim's Psychic Lance, which is a ranged attack that deals strong psychic damage and can incapacitate the enemy. At 8th level, we get another ability score improvement, and we desperately need to get our Constitution up to 14. We are a melee character, and our hit points need to be better, as do our Constitution saves. We also get another 4th level spell slot and can learn another spell, and Dimension Door is a very useful spell, not only for getting out of difficult situations, but avoiding obstacles, surprising enemies, and more depending on your imagination.
At 9th level Bard, we get another 4th level spell slot, 1 5th level spell slot, and can learn another spell. We get our last spell added to our list from our background, and it's a good one. Destructive Wave is normally a Paladin exclusive spell, and they don't get it until 17th level. It is one of the few damage spells that is strictly better than Fireball, cast in the same level slot. It has a radius of 30 feet from the caster, and deals 5d6 thunder damage and 5d6 of either radiant or necrotic damage. Radiant would suit the Gruul better. It only damages creatures that you choose, and knocks the enemies prone. Enemies who make a Constitution save take half damage and aren't knocked prone. A lot of monsters have good Constitution saves, but that is really the only downside to this spell. It is also really cool visually. You slam your weapon on the ground and a blast of energy spreads out from you, which I think is absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
At 10th level Bard, our Bardic Inspiration dice improves to a D10. We get expertise in 2 more skills, and we will get Perception and Athletics. We learn another cantrip, and we'll take Thunderclap for a good area of effect damage cantrip. We gain Magical Secrets, which allow us to learn 2 spells of 5th level or less from any class list. To complement Destructive Wave, we will take Steel Wind Strike from the Ranger list, which is another powerful damage spell. You flourish your weapon and choose 5 creatures. You then make a melee spell attack against each one, dealing 6d10 force damage on a hit. Then you can teleport to an unoccupied space within 5 feet of any target. This is another spell with a lot of style. The flavor of it is that you teleport around, making powerful attacks against multiple enemies. Also from the Ranger list, we're going to take another really cool spell, which is Wrath of Nature. It creates a 60-foot cube in which nature spirits assault your enemies. Grass and undergrowth create difficult terrain for them, vines and bushes restrain them, trees attack them, and you can use bonus action to throw boulders at them. It's pretty effective, but I really like it just for the cool factor in it because it really suits the nature of the Gruul. And at 11th level Bard, we get a 6th level spell slot and can learn another spell that can be 6th level, and it's going to be Hero's Feast. This allows us to feed our clan a feast that cures them of diseases and poison, makes them immune to poison and fear, and gives them advantage on wisdom saves, and increases their hit point maximum by 2d10 hit points, and they gain that many hit points. The effect lasts for 24 hours. The material component is expensive, however, so it probably can't be used every day, but is a great way to prepare for a big battle. In our game, we make spells like this and Stone Skin not consume the material component because we think the spells aren't powerful enough to need such a big drawback.
Yeah.
But even if you have to spend the gold, this is a great way to prepare for an adventure or big battle. Our cantrips improve again, adding another dice of damage, too.
At 12th level Bard, we only gain an ability boost, but we really need it. We have some excellent damage spells that require attacks or saves, but we also lean heavily on melee. We think Charisma is slightly more important, so we are going to increase it to 18, but Strength could also be another great choice. At 13th level Bard, our Song of Rest improves to a D10, and we gain our 7th level spell slot and can learn another spell that can be of 7th level. If no one else in the party can cast it, you will need to take Resurrection, but hopefully someone else has that covered. The same goes for teleport if no one else can use it. Ideally, though, the party will have a cleric and a wizard to handle these things, and you can take prismatic spray, giving another powerful area of effect attack. At 14th level of Bard, we gain 2 more magical secrets that can be of 7th level or lower now from any list. From the Druid list, we will take Firestorm, which has an area of effect that is both large and customizable and deals 7d10 fire damage to any creature in it, or half if they make the dexterity save. It also lights any flammable object on fire that aren't being carried, although the caster can choose to make plant life be unaffected. If we needed Teleport or Resurrection last level, we can take Prismatic Spray now, or we can take Crown of Stars from the Wizard list, which gives you 7 motes of energy that lasts for an hour, and during that time, you can use a bonus action to throw one, making a ranged spell attack at the target within 120 feet that deals 4d12 radiant damage. The spell ends after you have thrown all 7. This is a great use of the bonus action and can add up to a huge amount of damage. We also get Battle Magic, which allows us to make a melee attack as a bonus action whenever we used our action to cast a Bard spell. This can give us a nice boost of power when we use a damaging spell or cantrip and follow it up with an attack. It can also make a nice combo with Hold Monster, where the spell paralyzes the enemy, letting us make a bonus attack with advantage and an automatic critical hit. A similar trick can be done with Command. At 15th level Bard, our Bardic Inspiration dice becomes a d12, and we gain an 8th level spell slot and can learn another spell that can be of 8th level. We are taking Power Word Stun, which if used at the right time can cripple even powerful enemies. At 16th level, we gain another ability score improvement, and we will increase our strength to 18, making our melee more effective, allowing us to conserve spell slots without relying on cantrips.
At 17th level, our Song of Rest improves to a d12. We get a 9th level spell slot and can learn another spell that can be 9th level, and we want Foresight. It lasts for 8 hours, and during that time, one willing creature that can be yourself, can't be surprised, has advantage on attack rolls, ability checks, and saving throws, and enemy have a disadvantage on attack rolls against them. Used on yourself, this will make you a powerful and effective fighter. Used on a friend that's a barbarian or fighter, you can make them a devastating threat to anyone. Our cantrips improve again, gaining another dice of damage. At 18th level Bard, we gain 2 more magical secrets that can now be 9th level or less. For the first, we want Meteor Swarm, from the Wizard list. By far the strongest damage spell in the game. Huge damage, range, and area effect. This is the power that we can use to crush those civilized weaklings that dare to persecute our people. We also want Mass Heal from the Cleric list, allowing ourselves and our clanmates to survive fighting even the deadliest of enemies. At 19th level, we get our last ability boost, and we're going to take the Tough Feat, getting a much-needed boost to our hit points. And at 20th level, we get Superior Inspiration, granting us an Inspiration die anytime we roll initiative without one. This is especially useful in dungeon crawl situations or multi-stage battles where we're rolling initiative often, and can now afford to spend our Inspiration dice without worrying as much about saving them for the next encounter.
Yeah, that is a common problem. This isn't the typical Bard, but it can still fill the Bard role. It has a number of good spells to heal and support the party, but also the ability to deal significant damage with spells and melee attacks. Expertise in intimidation and persuasion will make them an excellent leader and negotiator. He may not be as smooth and charming, but is very good at getting people to do what he says, whether through discussion or threats of violence. I also think it would be a lot of fun to play. Usually the big bruiser with them all isn't the one to shine in social situations, but here we have a whole package. Great at roleplay, strong in melee, and powerful with spells, which is what a lot of people are hoping for when they decide to play a Bard. We hope you enjoyed the character and might give it a try in your games. Tell us what you think in the comments below, along with any suggestions or build ideas. And join us next time when we continue our tour of the plains of Ravnica with our member of the Dimir Guild. So look forward to that. And until next time, cheers!